Good morning, and thank you for joining us on all of our WLOX streaming platforms out there. This is Expert Alert, so we're talking to some of our subject matter experts here in South Mississippi about their specific field. And today we're talking about insurance, and joining us this morning is Jody Entrekin from Entrekin Insurance. Good morning, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you. So listen, we have, just so you know, we're live on Facebook. If you're watching us there, you already know that. If you're watching us on any of our other streaming platforms, we are live on Facebook right now. And if you have questions that you would like to ask Jody about, if you have any insurance questions, let's stick to just insurance questions. We don't want to hear questions about the New Orleans Saints because we all know where they're headed. So let's just stick to insurance today, right? So ask them here in the chat and I will see them and then I will ask them these questions as they come up. Perfect. So now we can get your feedback as well. So, good morning.
Good morning.
Now that we've got the homework and the housekeeping out of the way, how you been?
I've been great.
Jody and I go way back, so this is going to be old hat for us. So do me a favor, before we get started into like insurance, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into this business.
You know, a lot of people, they just kind of fall into the insurance business. That really kind of happened to me too. You know, so I grew up very humble, you know, just like most normal people, didn't really have very much, you know, never even remotely thought, you know, of insurance. Didn't know anything about it, didn't understand it. Straight out of high school, joined the military. You know, once I got out of the military, I became a police officer. And while a police officer, I had an experience with insurance that didn't go the way that I thought it should go.
Aha.
And that redirected my way of thinking in my life, actually. You know, so that got me into the insurance business as an insurance adjuster, which over time, you know, led to now where I am, where I own my own agency and I'm able to help and reach out to many people.
I like that you have experience now on both sides. You understand the adjusting piece of it. Now you understand the insurance piece of it. So that makes you a dual threat. Tell us what it is about. Tell us a little bit about Entrekin Insurance. There's a lot out there. There's a lot going on in terms of the insurance industry. Every time I turn my head, I feel like there's another ribbon cutting for another insurance agency. And it just goes to show that we have a lot of things that we hold valuable and we hold dear that we want to protect. So that makes perfect sense. So tell me a little bit about Entrekin Insurance. And you know, this is Expert Alert. So you're here because you're the subject matter expert. Tell us kind of what sets Entrekin Insurance apart from everyone else out there.
You know, it's really simple in the whole scheme of things. You know, insurance is insurance. What makes you special is you. You know, what makes Chet special is what makes Entrekin Insurance special. It's what Jody brings to the table and what I made of my company. You know, so my life experience, you know, from growing up poor to military to law enforcement gives me all different risk views, you know, that I look at things differently. You know, just also normal as a normal average person. You know, and then as an insurance adjuster, I see it on the back end of how it's supposed to work. So that gives me a good firm grip and understanding of the language of insurance and how it's supposed to work and what coverages truly mean and what they are. You know, which I also teach insurance. You know, so I am seeing insurance from a 360 point of view, not just from a sales perspective. You know, and then what I believe is the most important thing that makes me different is I still believe in relationships. It's not just a number. Right. You know, you're a person. You know, I had a phone call this morning, you know, before I come here, you know, with a client. And when a claim happens, it's emotional for them. It's important for them. But the truth of the matter for me is it's just another claim. But what I haven't forgotten is what it felt like for me when I needed to file that claim. You know, so it is personal. You know, I give them that time, that attention. It's not just a number. I am not fixated on 100% growth. I'm fixated on, let's do the right thing. Let's help my insureds. You know, so if I do that, everything else will follow. And in my humble belief, that's what makes Entrekin Insurance special. That's what makes us different.
Tell us a little bit about how your adjusting experience has helped you frame the way you think about being on this side of the desk with regard to insurance.
Sure. You know, so when people sell something, you know, do they know how it works? They might know if I press this button, it does this. But what do you have to have work in order for this button to work? It's kind of the same concept in insurance. So on the adjuster side, my job is not to look at what something costs or how do I sell this insurance policy. It's how does it work. So insurance is only important one time, Chet. One time only. And that's when you need it.
Right.
And if it doesn't work, then it's not worth the paper that it's written on. That's where your agent comes into play, right? So your insurance adjuster, I look at your policy and the only thing that's important to me is what's in black and white. If the coverage is there, I have to write it up as a covered item.
Good.
If it's not there, then I can deny that. Well, I know the policy language. So when I do have a policy or I do have a carrier, one of my first questions that I ask as the agency owner is, please provide me a copy of your policy. Before I sign a contract, I want to read it. Is this something that I want to stamp the Entrekin name on? Because it means something to me. That's the value that I bring to the table for all of my clientele. I do have that background of how it works. So the insurance adjuster, he or she, they do not have the authority to say, you're going to be paid X amount of dollars. It's not how it works. They write the reports. They're the fact finders. They present everything to the carrier. The carrier has their own in-house adjusting team who looks at it. Now that whatever the adjuster does for your claim, it's heavily weighted. They're the eyes and the ears, they're the face, they're on the ground, right? But for the consumer, I am.
Sure.
I'm the face. I'm the one that they look for. So I have to look at it when someone calls and they say, hey, I need an auto insurance policy, and I know that they're driving a $75,000 truck. I'm not going to give them state minimum limits.
Sure.
Because it's only going to cover $25,000. I have to do what is within the best interest of the insured. Then I educate them. Once I educate my clientele, once I do that, it's up to them to make an informed decision. But I do that because I know and understand how it works on the back end. It's one thing to be an insurance agent who focuses and fixates on sales. It's another who focuses and fixates on how it works on the back end and how is it going to affect Chet or Jody in the event that a claim arises. So that's the fixation, and that's my focus.
No questions yet on our Facebook Live, but you are getting some shout outs. Jody's fantastic. Love Entrekin Insurance. Go, Jody. So you got some fans on here right now.
Awesome.
So that's a win. Since we kind of got into talking about policies, I feel like the peak of hurricane season has come. We're kind of going back down, but there's another little small peak that happens in October. So we are not out of the woods yet.
Correct.
Unless you forgot, Zeta was a 1-2 punch that happened right before Halloween. Right towards towards the end of October. So we're not, it's not over. November 30th is that last day. So I say all that to say, homeowners insurance policies are huge down here, and they're not all the same.
That is correct.
Tell us about the differences between those policies.
Oh my gosh, there are so many different things that I could talk about there. We could talk for hours. So anyone who knows me knows this. I love Diet Dr. Pepper. I just do. But that's probably my downfall in life is Diet Dr. Pepper. Well, I could go to Walmart or wherever and I can buy Diet Dr. Thunder. It is cheaper. It is not the same thing, not even remotely close. That's insurance. So again, it comes down to if you fixate on the cheapest, the old saying of you get what you pay for. Cheaper is not always better. I want to focus on what's going to happen because I'm going to piggyback on what I said a few moments ago. Insurance is only important one time.
Sure.
And that's when you need it. Well, if you say, hey, I want this policy here because I'm going to save $15 a month. Now when something happens, what do you say? I wish I wouldn't have done that. You're going to be the one to regret it.
That's one lunch.
Right? That's correct. That's one lunch.
And sometimes not even a lunch, depending on where you're going.
That is correct. And it's hard. That's a big hurdle that we have to overcome because right now we're in an industry, let's be honest. Chet, have you ever woke up and said, I can't wait to talk to the insurance guy?
I don't know that this morning. This was probably the first morning I've ever said that, but I don't know that any other time I've ever said that.
No one does that. No one. So I got a hurdle to overcome from Jump Street. So I educate them, let them know that I do care. This is how it works. This is what I want to do for you. This is what I bring to the table. This is what I offer.
So what can you tell us, give us some insight as to why aside from the fact that hurricanes are more powerful as they hit, it seems, more often, why is insurance getting more and more expensive? Like, it seems every year it's like, oh, the premium's gone up $500. Is there a reason for that? Is there something that we don't know about because we're not in the industry?
And I can answer that with one word: claims. Bold, italicized, highlighted, neon lights. Claims, 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 claims. People don't want to hear it. I hear every single day. I haven't filed a claim. I haven't either. But my insurance went up.
Sure.
Why did it go up? It's the law of large numbers. So if you pay $3,000 for a policy and then you file a claim and that insurance company pays out 40 grand, they lost money on that deal. Now, if we have 100,000 policies out there, and out of those 100,000 policies, 10,000 of them file a claim, but they pay $40,000 for each one, do the simple math. Who's going to make money? These insurance companies, they have bills, just like we do.
Sure.
Right? So every dollar that they bring in from premium, if you look at it, it's typically 70 cents on the dollar goes to claims.
Wow.
70 cents of every dollar spent ultimately goes to claims, which leaves 30 cents for every dollar for that insurance company to make a profit, pay all their staff, pay their insurance, pay for their buildings, whatever it is. It's not a whole lot. So when you have a lot of claims, which we have, if you look at the stats, and if you go all the way back to the beginning of insurance for the United States, when we were just a bunch of shoeless colonists at that point in time, walking around, plowing fields by hand, right? All the way back to 1648, right? Robert Lloyd, hence Lloyd's of London, insured a shipment of goods to come here to some colonists. That's when it really started for us. If you add up the number of claims from 1648 to January 1st, 2019, you get one number, right? Now you add up the number of claims from January 2nd, 2019 to now, you get a second number. That second number is now more than 4 times higher than the first.
Wow.
Do the math.
It is just numbers.
All across the country, it all comes down to numbers. And what I hear commonly is, I'll get a new roof when the next storm comes. Well, when the next storm comes, follow my insurance. So one of the things that I really want people to know and understand is, since we're talking about homeowners insurance, your homeowners insurance policy, it is an indemnity plan. Here's what that means. It's to make you whole in the event that a claim happens. Doesn't mean that they're going to upgrade your house for you. It's not a maintenance plan. It's to make it the way that it was before. So if you had 3-tab shingles on your roof and it blows your roof off, there's depreciation.
Sure.
Right? They're going to pay for 3-tab shingles to go back on. Not a metal roof. Not architectural shingles. 3-tab shingles to go back on. That's what's fair.
Yeah.
Or if you think about your auto insurance, everyone knows the moment you drive your vehicle off the lot, what happens to it?
Depreciates.
It depreciates.
As soon as you cross that threshold.
That's correct. It depreciates. What do they think about their homeowners? Oh, it goes up, right?
Yeah.
It goes up. So our homeowners policies are increasing, to answer your question, for a lot of factors. Claims is number one. Number two, labor rates. Cost of labor now is higher than it's ever been before. Call a plumber, call a carpenter, call an electrician. They're more expensive now. Why? Professions. If you want a professional, you pay for a professional.
We have a question here. Is there? We have a little over a minute left. Is there a difference between admitted and surplus?
Absolutely. So the easy way to explain that, an admitted carrier, think about your bank account, Chet. If someone goes down to your bank and they rob the bank and they're a member of the FDIC, otherwise known as the government, okay, they guarantee, they secure, they warranty up to $250,000 of your money in your account, right? Same thing with an insurance policy. If they're admitted, the state of Mississippi, through what's called the Guarantor Fund, guarantees you up to $250,000.
Gotcha.
If you're surplus, you have no guarantee at all.
Oh.
None whatsoever.
Good to know that stuff.
Yes, sir.
Well, there you go. That was the one question. Jody is a fantastic guy, very informative. Folks love you, Jody. We got your question in. Folks, listen, if you have questions about insurance, you see his number right there, 228-460-0574 or entrekinins.com. That is the website. Give Jody a call. He's here. Thank you for your service. He's a vet. Also, he's here to answer any questions that you have. He'll be here the fourth Thursday of every month for the unforeseeable future. We'll dive into something else next month, but just know that Jody's there to answer questions. If you have any questions, give him a call. He'll get you taken care of. Jody, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. You're
Absolutely.
welcome.